We walked toward the scene in silence. I don't like that Gail took a dig at Madge, but he's right, of course. The ribbon system is unfair, with the bull getting the worst of it. You become eligible for the ribbon the day you turn 12. That year, your name is entered once. At 13, twice, and so on, until you reach the age of 18, the final year of eligibility. When your name goes into the pool 7 times, that's true for every citizen in all 12 districts in the entire country of Panama. But here's the catch. Say you are poor and starving as we were. You can opt to add your name more times in exchange for tessera. Each tessera is worth a meager year's supply of grain and oil for one person. You may do this for each of your family members as well. So at the age of 12, I had my name entered 4 times. Once because I had to, and 3 times for tessera for grain and oil for myself, Graham, and my mother. In fact, every year I have needed to do this, and the entries are cumulative. So now, at the age of 16, my name will be in the ribbon 20 times. Gail, who is 18 and has been either helping or single-handedly feeding a family of 5 for 7 years, will have his name in 42 times. You can see why someone like Madge, who has never been at risk of needing a tessera, can set him off. The chance of her name being drawn is very slim compared to those of us who live in the same. Not impossible, but slim. And even though the rule was set up by the capital, not the district, certainly not Madge's family, it's hard not to reason those who don't have to sign up for tessera. Gail knows his anger at Madge is misdirected. On the other days, deep in the woods, I've listened to him rant about how the tessera are just another tool to cause misery in our district, a way to plant hatred between the starving workers of the scene and those who can generally count on supper and thereby ensure we will never trust one another. It's to the capital's advantage to have us divided among ourselves. He might say if there were no ears to hear by mine. If it was a ribbon day, if a girl with a gold pen and no tessera has not made what I'm sure she thought was a harmless comment. At work, I glanced over at Gail's face, still smoldering underneath his stony expression. His rage seems pointless to me, although I never say so. It's not that I don't agree with him, I do, but what good is yelling about capital in the middle of the woods? It doesn't change anything, it doesn't make things fair, it doesn't fill our stomachs. In fact, it's scared of the nearby game. I let him yell though. Better he does it in the woods than in the district. Gail and I divide our spoils, leaving 2 fish, a couple of loaves of good bread, greens, a quart of strawberries, salt, paraffin, and a bit of money for each. See you in the square, I say. Wear something pretty, he says flatly. At home, I find my mother and sister are ready to go. My mother wears a fine dress from her apothecary days. Prim is in my first ribbon outfit, a skirt and a ruffled blouse. It's a bit big on her, but my mother has made it stay with pins. Even so, she's having trouble keeping the blouse stuck in at the back. A tub of warm water waits for me. I scrub off the dirt and sweat from the woods, and even wash my hair. To my surprise, my mother has laid out one of her own lovely dresses for me, a soft blue thing with matching shoes. Are you sure? I ask. I'm trying to get past rejecting offers of help from her. For a while, I was so angry. I wouldn't allow her to do anything for me. And this is something special. Her clothes from her past are very precious to her. Of course, let's put your hair up too, she says. I let her towel dry it and braid it up on my head. I can hardly recognize myself in a cracked mirror that leans against the wall. You look beautiful, says Prim in a hushed voice. Ain't nothing like myself, I say. I hug her, because I know these next few hours will be terrible for her. Her first ripping. She's about as safe as you can get, since she's only entered once. I wouldn't let her take out any tesseries, but she's worried about me. Then the unthinkable might happen. I protect Pring in every way I can, but I'm powerless against the ripping. The anguish I always feel when she's in pain wells up in my chest and threatens to register on my face. I notice her blouse has pulled out of her skirt in the back again and force myself to stay calm. Tuck your tail in, little duck, I say, smoothing the blouse back in place. Pring giggles and gives me a small quack. Quack yourself, I say with a light laugh, the kind only Pring can jar out of me. Come on, let's eat, I say and plant a quick kiss on the top of her head. The fish and greens are already cooking in the stew, but that would be from the supper. We decide to save the strawberry and bakery bread for this evening's meal, to make it special, we say. Instead, we drink milk from Pring's goat, Lady, and eat the rough bread made from the tessera grain, although no one has much appetite anyway. At 1 o'clock, we head for the square. Attendance is mandatory unless you are on death's door. This evening, officials will come around and check to see if this is the case. If not, you'll be in prison. It's too bad, really, that they hold the ribbon in the square, one of the few places in District 12 they can be present. The square is surrounded by shops, and on public market days, especially if there's good weather, it has a holiday feel to it. But today, despite the bright banners hanging on the buildings, there's an air of grimness. The camera crews, perched like buzzards on rooftops, only add to the effect. People file in silently and sign in. The ribbing is a good opportunity for the capital to keep tabs on the population as well. 12 through 18-year-olds are herded into roped areas marked off by ages. The oldest in the front, the young ones like Pring, toward the back. Family members line up around the perimeter, holding tightly to one another's hands. But there are others too, who have no one they love at stake, or who no longer care, who sleep among the crowd, taking bets on the two kids whose name will be drawn. Odds are given on their ages, whether they are sane or merchant, if they will break down and weep. Most refuse dealing with the rocketeers, but carefully, these same people tend to be informers. And who hasn't broken the law? I could be shot on a daily basis for hunting, but the appetites of those in charge protect me. Not everyone can claim the same. Anyway, Gail and I agree that if we have to choose between dying of hunger and a bullet in the head, the bullet would be much quicker.